Starfleet Underground. Every week, we'll take a look at the latest Star Trek news and then check out a current or classic episode of Star Trek.
It's part 2 of Star Trek Back to the Future. The Flux Capacitor is fluxing. Picard meets with Guinan in 2024. Raffi and Seven go Grand Theft Auto. Rios gets tazed. Jurarti and the Borg Queen fix the transporter. And Q tries to get snappy, but fails.
Oi, oi.
Wait. Hey, sir? It's time to start the show. What? Wait, can you turn that down? Turn off that damn noise.
Sex Pistols! Oi, oi, oi!
Oh, wait, we started?
Sure, the red light's been on for like the last 3 minutes.
I didn't see it. I was headbanging.
The dot didn't tell you? He was supposed to tell you.
He had it up too loud. He couldn't even hear the dot.
I thought he was dancing. That's what he was trying to hop up and down to get my attention.
Along, huh?
Oh, jeez.
Sorry about that. Okay. This is so good. Okay, let me get started. Hold on. Rewind. Hello, thank you for coming to another exciting episode of Starfleet Underground. I am Captain Adams here with our full crew. We have our wonderful science officer, and despite the song, I don't hate you.
Hi, I'm Heather Ferris. I'm the science officer, and I have better taste in music than the captain.
Hey, that's the Sex Pistols, man. Don't fucking. No.
Oh,
do not.
God.
Do not even go there. Wait. I want to hear the finger snap from Patrick. Do the finger snap. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, he's good at popping things. And speaking of popping things, we have our wonderful computer guy, my number one. Go ahead.
Hey, I'm Patrick. I'm number one. I'm the computer guy. I'm also the foreign species liaison.
Thank you. And the only other person, who did you say you liked the music or you didn't like the music, Chief?
Oh, I love the music. It was just too fucking loud for the show. All right, then in that case, our wonderful has excellent musical taste. Our engineer. I had years in radio, and I've gone to a lot of concerts. I know how too loud sounds like. It's like it's experience, man.
Why does the volume in my cabin then go to 11 if it wasn't meant to be played at 11?
What?
He has a good point.
I like 11.
It's normally 1 to 10, but mine says it goes to 11.
It's the captain's office. I mean, he's got to have it go to 11.
And the 11 was stenciled in, so I think that somebody did modification. But that's okay. Well, at least we have that. And I did introduce everybody, didn't I?
By the way, I'm Rocky. I'm the engineer of the show and the ship. And actually, I love it loud.
Thank you.
I do love it loud. So if it's too loud, it's probably my fault if it was too loud.
Crank it to 11.
Well, just like they said in that Good Morning America, when Bob Fibber called in a radio request and he asked him what he wanted to hear. And Bob Fibber was from artillery. He says, I don't care, play anything as long as it's loud. So that's a good thing. Where was I? I really, Heather, you brought some really good hooch, and I think I drank too much of it.
Well, I had to visit my friend Guinan in 10 Forward, and I brought some back. So
no, that shit is good.
You had to visit the gynecologist in 10 Forward?
Yeah, well, maybe on our social media you could see when I was at the 10 Forward bar, and I didn't bring anything back to me, but Heather had my back and brought me some good stuff.
Wait, you mean the EMH doesn't do that? What the fuck has he been doing all this time?
I have no idea. I have no idea. So and then of course
Please state the nature of the gynecological emergency.
Yes. And we also have where we can see our wonderful computer guy. It sounds like a joke, but it's like an Andorian and a Vulcan walks into a bar and you meet our computer guy. So we'll have to put that out there on social media if it isn't really on social media just yet. So let's go into... First off, this show is being brought to you by Section 31 and our wonderful Patreon people. So thanks again for those of you that put the Patreon out there. You really help offset the costs of stuff. So we greatly, greatly appreciate you. So thank you. Also, we're going to look to see if we have corrections today. So what do we got correction-wise?
Let me check subspace. Dun, 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 dun. Well, I don't see anything, but
I have a correction.
What?
I got a correction.
What's your correction?
I screwed up. I fully admit that I'd screwed up. Okay, so the correction is last week, the episode, I said the name of the episode for Picard was Watcher. That was incorrect. That was this week or the following week. I don't know. I'm sort of messed up on weeks.
Well, the temple mechanics, yeah.
What was it? Number 2 was not Watcher. I had said it was Watcher. It's not Watcher. Number 3 was Watcher. Number 2 was actually named Assimilation. So I wanted to point that out that I got the name of the episode wrong.
50 demerits for you. You can't cook in the kitchen for a whole 24 hours, which is really a gift to us.
Yay! Woo! Yes.
No, you said number 3 was Watcher, but it's not. That's this episode. Number 4.
Okay, this episode's Watcher. The last one I said was Watcher, but it's really Assimilation.
I love it.
The second episode was Penance. The first episode was the Stargazer.
Okay, thank you.
Love it.
Appreciate
I got to tingle my naughty parts because we have a correction to our correction, and I'm loving life right
Somebody got an erection?
Yeah, so that's pretty damn cool. All right. We did our news. Now comes everybody's favorite part if they've been waiting for, which is Patrick is going to twerk naked and snap.
We didn't do our news.
We didn't?
Nope,
we still got to do
We
it.
just did corrections.
Hold on. EMH, I need a hangover cure, please. Thank you. All right. News. What do we have here for the news for this week? Heather, what do you got for us?
So this week we had 2 Star Trek birthdays. Happy birthday! No, we are not going to do the sad birthday song. We're doing the happy birthday song.
Are we allowed to sing
Is
that?
there a difference?
It's your birthday. Yeah, one sounds horrible. The birthdays were for Connor Trinneer, who played Trip on Enterprise. He turned 53 years old on March 19th, 1969 was his birthday year. And William Shatner, who played Kirk on the original series. He turned 91. And his birthday was March 22nd, 1931.
And he's been to space.
Guess
And
what?
he's been to space. Oldest person.
Birthday.
But who?
There's one more birthday.
There's at least one more birthday.
Today's Leonard Nimoy's birthday.
Oh, wow.
Oh, and today is
March 26th,
woo. Do you know what year he was born?
1931. So just shortly after Shatner.
Oh, okay. They're the same age. Nice.
Well,
The
they would be.
parties they must have had
Yeah.
must have been amazing.
Oh, I can imagine.
Well, I mean, you don't have to imagine. You see them on GIFs all the time. You see Leonard Nimoy with the
Leonard was born in Boston and
that's true.
Shatner was born in Canada, so they wouldn't have had parties together.
Well, not back in the
That's
day,
true.
but I mean, in Star
set.
Trek era, they must have had some cool little get-togethers.
all they had to do is teleport.
Yeah, he's like, how's it going, eh? So that would be good. They probably gave him some fat back, some, Canadian bacon and whatnot. All right, Patrick.
Ooh, got some news for you. So everyone's favorite ensign, Tilly, is going to be back for Star Wars. Star Wars.
What?
She's crossing over to Star Wars, people. She's going to be in the Mandalorian. No.
Yay!
She is going to be back in season 5 of Star Trek Discovery. However, we do not know whether that will be in the proposed Starfleet Academy, or they haven't officially said, but she has said that she will be back. Don't worry, you cannot live without Tilly. Also, she is currently in a show at the Lincoln Center called At the Wedding.
That's cool.
Yeah. So if you happen to be in New York, go to the Lincoln Center and see Mary Wiseman in At the Wedding.
Nice.
And then my second piece of news is for Star Trek Mission Chicago. They've added some new guests. We've got Sonequa Martin Green, Anson Mount, Jack Quaid, Tawny Newsome. So the guest list is getting kind of hot. Annie Wershing, Michelle Hurd, Issa Briones.
Robin Curtis.
Can you get tickets now, or is it too late?
I think you can probably still buy tickets.
I'll have to see the tax man first. I need to figure out if the tax man will let me go.
I wonder how much the tickets are, because I know tickets have gone up in price for everything, concerts, conventions.
For the 3-day regular pass, it was $175 a piece for me and Nathan, I think.
That's not too bad.
Okay.
Oh, right now I'm looking at the price. I don't think you paid that much. It says that was probably with tax, carrying fees and everything.
Service fees.
3-day pass is $155. 3-day priority one access VIP is $750.
Whoa.
1 day pass is $65, and kids under 12 is $35.
I don't look under 12 though.
You just have to shave.
I still don't look under 12.
Well, you just shave, and when we get near the gate, just hold your hand out to Patrick and go, "Daddy, you're moving too fast." And then,
but if you want, you can buy tickets at stmc22.com/buy tickets.
And I'd advise you to look at getting autographed tickets if you want to try to meet any of the talent that's there. So we don't know how well they're going to be marshaling them off. That's why we're going to do an investigation to see how well they isolate the talent from the crowds. A lot of times, like in Comic-Con, they put them up on a dais and you can't even really get to them. So we'll see. Okay, news-wise, was that your news there, number one? You have anything else?
That was it.
All right. Oh, hold on a second. Thank you. Wow. That's actually pretty good.
Is that more alcohol for your hangover cure?
No, it's the cure.
How's it working?
Wait, why is on the bottom of my mug it says made by Heather?
I don't know anything about it. I have no clue what you're talking
custom
about.
mugs.
I don't.
Custom Starfleet Underground mug that says made by Heather.
I had no choice. I lost a bet. I had zero choice.
Let's see if this thing does anything, because I was like skipping and missing stuff. But I am not going to miss our engineer. What do you have for news?
Oh, good. I thought you were going to miss me. You guys know that I kind of have a Jones for a little bit of the motion picture, a Star Trek motion picture movie. For some people who think it goes too slow, I mean, yeah, I can't argue with that. It is a little slower than your modern average action hero movie of today, but it's Star Trek. So I give it a pass. And it was in the 70s. So, you know, they moved movies a little bit slower back then. However, they have completely revised it. They completely re-4K'd it and up-resed it and redid the motion soundtrack and upgraded the effects. And they've got a trailer out to show you how things are looking different. And it's 4K and it's supposed to be amazing. It's going to be on the Paramount Plus network April 5th. And that just happens to be First Contact Day. So if you're looking for something to do on First Contact Day, it'll be available. That'll be cool. And Fathom Events is also going to bring it to theaters for a 2-day event on May 22nd and May 25th. And tickets for that will go on sale April 8th at fathomevents.com. So if you want to go see it on a huge screen, which I highly recommend. I mean, before they remastered the remaster, I got to see it not too long ago on a huge screen, and it was fucking phenomenal. So I can only imagine how much even cooler this is going to be.
It's going to be huge. It's huge, I tell you. Huge.
Yeah, it's going to be big, baby. It's going to be, you're going to like it. And 4K UHD Blu-ray discs are going to be released in September. That's all I got.
Outstanding.
That's your motion picture update for Star Trek.
Well,
cool.
For those of you that have been on the ship, you know, I have a shelf up in my room where most captains have like a lot of Starship models that are there. I do have that. But on my main sided room, I collect the EXO figures. And everybody, you guys know just how well the EXO 6 does their figures. Well, there's a new one they got coming out. Mirror Universe Spock, a 1/6 scale. And he's got the beard and the uniform. It looks beyond amazing. First thing on, it's similar with me because it's 12 inches.
Are you happy to see us, or is that a Spock in your pocket?
Yours was centimeters, sorry.
No.
In episode correction, you meant centimeters.
And how would you know, number one?
He tries to hide cameras all the time.
Oh.
He also comes with interchangeable hands, which means that I'm going to have to keep Patrick out of the room, including the configurations for the Terran salute, the mind meld. He's going to have a dagger and a sheath, type 1 and type 2 phasers, and an agonizer unit.
Ooh.
So it's going to be out.
Your S&M party nights are going to be something else, like next level shit, man.
And of course, he has his catchphrase, "I do not threaten, Captain. I merely state facts." So if you want it, pre-order for Entertainment Earth, and the price is actually reasonable if you got your tax return. It's $197.99, which is their way of saying it's $198. So, and it's going to be released next month in April. So if you want it, there it is. Go and get it.
Isn't that basically saying it's more like $200 after shipping and everything?
It's psychological. They try that stuff all the time.
If you tip, you throw a couple extra bucks in there, and no, you don't tip? Oh, okay.
Just put the tip in.
I give him the tip.
Not that kind of tip.
Yeah. So do I. I give him the tip.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, that was dirty.
Gently, ever so gently.
Yeah, but no one can tell when you're giving them a tip, Nathan.
That was
By the way, our podcast is not meant for kids.
Oh,
if you're
crap,
a kid,
I forgot.
Go away.
Oh, fuck.
I blame the music and I blame the fact that I drank that stuff that Heather brought back. So, yeah, thank you, Heather, for the disclaimer.
Over 21 only.
You guys, if you were listening to it up to this way, you got away with it. So, yeah. We're not your grandpa's podcast. And for those of you that know me in real life, I am really sorry you see this side of me because you guys never see this side. Only this crew, these people do.
This is the fun side.
Yeah. So I've had people.
I get stuck with the stick in the mud.
Yeah. I get people come up to me and it goes, I had no idea that you are like that. It's like, well, yeah, I just don't walk the street doing that. So
You filthy whore.
seriously, it's like we walk through and somebody farts loudly and it's like, oh, look, Patrick, that's a virgin. So, but speaking of Patrick, who's not a virgin, we're going to go into our favorite section. So tell us about the show, Pat. What did we watch last week?
Hey, so this was Star Trek Picard Season 2, Episode 4, The Watcher. Teaser. Picard and Agnes are trying to contact the crew. Seven and Raffi arrive at the clinic to find that Rios has been arrested by ICE. The comms aren't working. With the ship cloaked, Agnes and Picard go to the chateau to get warmed up. Picard has flashbacks of things yet to occur. The Nazis used to use the chateau as a base. Picard's mom alleviates his fears. There's a big fire in the fireplace. Picard wants to know more of what the Borg Queen knows while Alice fiddles about, and he notices that 15 is important. 15 on the Abacus, 15th edition of the Britannica, and 1915 bottle of Pinot Noir. Well, look at you, Dixon Hill. They realize it's a date, 3 days to go.
Should they be burning wood in the fireplace? Isn't that like a temporal? I mean, butterflies, we would not want to step on the butterflies, but should you be burning wood in a fireplace?
You probably don't want to burn the butterflies either.
Yeah, and plus burning the fireplace, if people are out there looking like, hey, is that smoke coming from that place that's been abandoned since like forever?
Yes.
What the hell? And plus, you abandon the place and you leave good liquor behind? Yeah, no. If I'm going, I'm taking all the bottles.
Yeah, somebody did something wrong.
I have a prediction for the future episodes of Picard. But first, have you guys ever read that short story in school where it talks about the butterfly effect? And the story goes, a group of people go into the past and they're dinosaur hunters, but they kill the dinosaur only like a minute before the dinosaur was going to die anyway, so it doesn't have an effect on the future. Well, one of the people who went in the past, he stepped off of the path, and I think he stepped on a butterfly, and that was it. That's all he did was step on a butterfly.
That was a movie.
Was it? What movie?
The butterfly effect.
It was a movie. It was a movie. I can't remember what it was called, but it was a movie.
Oh.
The movie wasn't about the dinosaurs, though, right? Because the butterfly effect didn't have dinosaurs.
Yes.
It was?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so rewatching that.
Movie night.
I can't remember what it was called, but there is a movie where they go back in time to the dinosaur time, and guy steps off
It wasn't a Twilight Zone?
specified path. No, it wasn't
It
a Twilight
sounds
Zone.
like it should have been a Twilight Zone.
Steps off the path and steps on a butterfly, and then all shit is changed.
Yes, and then everything is changed when they go back. That's what I want to see in Picard.
Was H.G. Wells involved in this at all, or that's a different one?
Probably. I want them to go back.
I just know that I've seen the movie a number of times.
But I don't want everything to be the way it was before.
There's a magazine that was out. Rocky will probably know it, and possibly Heather, was called Heavy Metal.
Mm-hmm.
I used to buy Heavy Metal every time it came out, and one of the articles they had in there, one of the comics they had in there, was this alien ship lands, and you see it like on the edge of an ocean, and inside the water
It's called Sound of Thunder.
Yeah. That's the name of the movie?
That's the movie, Sound of Thunder.
Oh, I thought that was the name of the porn title.
No.
Yeah, that's
that
usually when
wasn't a
I go to
sound.
the restroom.
It's Ben Kingsley and Ed Burns.
That's a weird porno, dude.
Okay.
Catherine McCormick, yeah.
Let me rewind.
It's a story by
because I
Ray
think-
Bradbury.
Yeah, Ray Bradbury does the best stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Let me rewind. Okay, so in this Heavy Metal, there's a ship that's microscopic that people have sent from the future
Like your penis.
to look at when life first appears on Earth.
His penis is from the future?
So they're tiny. And they're really tiny, and they're in the ocean, by the ocean, and they're looking, and they see no life, and they go, "Did we miscalculate? There's supposed to be the first signs of life on here. We don't see anything." Then all of a sudden on their scanner, they see a whole bunch of bacteria and stuff just rushing at them. And it goes, "Wait a minute, we miscalculated. There's not supposed to be this many," and they get eaten. They cut to above the surface, and there's a spaceship that's backed into the water, and there's a guy taking a dump on it from an alien. And he goes, "I can't believe you defiled a virgin world like that." And he says, "There's nothing here." And he goes, "Well, who knows? Maybe in the future they evolve into intelligent species." And he goes, "Right, intelligent shit inhabiting a planet. You're funny." And they blast off. So
they're not inhabiting anymore because the shit got eaten.
So that was funny. Anyway, that was Heavy Metal. For those of you that ever read it,
nice.
I know we just migrated off, but
I can't even go to my milk chocolate hot joke now.
That was hilarious. That was so funny.
Milk, chocolate, hot.
I'm loving Agnes more and more.
Oh, that's
every
right.
episode.
Hot. That was funny.
She's calling him Dixie Hill, and she said milk chocolate hot. I'm just like, I want to give her a big hug now. I love Agnes.
Well, she's like, "Look at you, Dixon Hill." I was like, "Go, girl."
That one scene where Picard is like, "Let's just hope they're not." And Jurarti's like, "What, dead?" And oh my God, the look Picard gives her, like, seriously? Yeah, thanks.
She just will come out and say stuff too. Yeah.
The first season, I wasn't a huge fan of her character, but this season, I love her to death. She has such quick wit and delivery.
Yeah. Oh man, I was so not trusting of her last season.
Yeah,
and I was really kind of not liking. And I love the actress. I mean, I saw her in what was that show? It was like a broadcast TV show style where they're trying to be the news. It was one
Broadcast News.
Was it called Broadcast News?
Could be.
It wasn't that. That's the movie though, right? Or there was a show that had.
Are you talking about Saturday Night Live?
No. But she was in this thing, and I thought she was really, really good in that role. And then she popped up in Star Trek, and I'm like excited, like yes. And then the first season, it's just like I don't know about this chick now, and now it's completely redeemed. I'm really loving Agnes so much now.
Yeah,
I feel like she became funnier.
Yeah, and she's quick.
Yeah, she's quick.
Do you mean the newsroom?
The newsroom. Yeah, that's probably what it was. Yeah.
She's really good. I enjoy it. As Agnes, she's redeemed herself in my opinion.
Totally.
Because that did make me laugh about the chocolate.
And her deadpan delivery is great.
Knock, knock, don't bother.
And wasn't that interesting that we found out that the Nazis used Chateau Picard back in the day, and that the only way his relatives got out was the tunnels under the house, and that's how they ended up in England? Which
is why it explains he had more of an English accent than a French one, because even in The Next Generation, he was French, but it was never like, you're French, dude, you're English.
And why he wind up liking tea, because that's a total English thing.
That is totally English. That guy is English all the way. But every single time.
Is that retconning?
Who?
Isn't it? Is that what they call when they revise the history of a character through a new episode?
Oh, I didn't know they had a word for it. What's
Seriously,
it called?
you educated us here, Rocky.
I think that's what they call retconning, because everyone's like, what is this thing on the keep looking through these message boards? Oh, they retconned that. And
okay.
It means to revise retrospectively, typically by introducing a piece of new information that imposes a different interpretation on previously described events.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
so all the Trekkies that would come out and yell, yeah, but Picard is like French, but he's not. He's like totally a Brit. And what's up with that? And
that's why.
And you get all these noisy Trekkies that every once in a while you see pop up on Twitter.
They finally explained it in this episode.
Yeah.
And they call it, was it retconning?
I think they call it retconning.
Retcon.
And I used to call it sealing up plot holes.
Yeah.
I think when they originally hired Patrick Stewart, they were looking for a Frenchman, but they liked Patrick so much they ended up hiring him.
They were more worried about how bald he was and trying to get the wig working.
Well, that was Roddenberry's thing.
That was hilarious, that story.
That was Roddenberry's thing. But yeah, we get it. Now, is this section, is it?
Oh my goodness, mute, dude. Mute.
Excuse me.
Oh man, I hope you have a slime blocker on your thingy. Did we visit Rios or Jerry during this section or no?
We did. So first of all, when they first go in, the very first scene of this whole episode was Seven and Raffi looking for Rios, and I'm thinking, oh my God, it took you guys long enough.
Seriously.
And he's like, I know how to read a tricorder, okay?
I still don't understand where the hell is this Comm Badge.
It's on the counter in the
Yeah,
clinic.
but they were there and Picard was like, yelling.
It is interesting, the whole Comm Badge thing, because first, the whole communications thing, because meanwhile at Chateau Picard, how are you going to get the signal to bounce over around the globe to get over to Raffi and Seven when they beam
in Los Angeles?
In Los Angeles. That's like, you've got to have some repeaters or some satellites and, repurposed.
It did work a little bit because remember when he got arrested and they did a slow camera view of the badge on the counter and you heard Picard going, Rios.
It was just barely starting to work. I mean, he's been calling out, much longer than that.
And they should have parked closer.
It really took Agnes a moment to dial that in, but that happens later. So yeah, they were having comm issues, and then Raffi and Seven are trying to triangulate Rios with the tricorder in this. I mean, one, they're in 2024, so they can't use the modern satellites of the Federation to locate, and two, they're using a Confederation tricorder. It's not a regular standard Starfleet issue tricorder. This is a Confederation tricorder. You don't know what that thing's designed to do, although you would think it'd be pretty good at finding somebody.
Self-destruct.
And if they get there and they're in the doctor's office and he's not there, but the tricorder says he is.
I'm like, why did they grab the badge? Did they grab the badge?
We need to pick up technology before we go.
I'm like,
oh, he's not here. Bye.
I'm like, grab the badge, please. I needed to see them. Oh, we'll just take this.
Yeah, they were just too emotional and befuddled.
I'm just curious on how they're going to solve that because, we're like the Telosians. We could backwards engineer that stuff and it'd be like a new iPod. So
yeah.
Well, look at you, Dixon Hill.
Speaking of which, they had enough power to engage the cloaking device, but they didn't have enough power to save Elnor.
Don't let Raffi find that out.
Don't tell Raffi.
Yeah.
It's like, seriously?
They got it supercharged overnight. They got it up to 10% and they were able to engage cloak.
You have to have a lot of power to cloak.
Yeah, they put the solar panels up.
They put the solar panels up.
Why did they cloak in the first place? Yeah, I mean, solar panels in at nighttime, that wouldn't work.
It gathers moonlight as Confederation.
They're using the alcohol from the grapes on Chateau Picard as fuel.
Oh, there you go.
To power the cloak.
Well, yeah, I think it was the Borg Queen was back online so they could engage the cloak because she took all the systems down when she went down. So
that's a point.
And then the other thing I want to point out is the part where he says where 15 comes up multiple times. And he's like, oh, it's the 15th of this month and we only have 3 days left. And I'm thinking, they never specified the month. What if it was the 15th of July? Or the 15th of August, or the 15th of October.
They did
say April. Yeah, they said when she looked at the chronometer at the last moment, they did say April 20. No,
that's where they were at. How do they know that 15? Because that's all they were showing was 15.
Because the Borg Queen took them there. She knew the date.
But I'm saying, what if it was like the 15th of May? What if it was the 15th of June or July? How do they know?
They didn't know what 15 was until Agnes realized after linking with the Borg Queen that and everything became clearly that it was April and it was the 15th coming up. But they realized
tax day.
Yeah, that's what it is. They got to get their taxes done.
And they probably figured, the Borg Queen is not going to make them wait around for like a month or two. She wants to get the hell out of there once she gets to do whatever she needs to do.
She wants to get back to the collective.
Okay, that's a good one.
So that's probably it. All right, Pat, move on.
Hey, let's see. Act 1. Yes. Punk rocker on a bus. 7. Would you mind stopping that noise? Sound familiar? Hint, Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home. It's the same punk rocker from 1986, 38 years prior, except there's no Vulcaner pinch this time. Raffi's upset and blaming herself for Elnor's death. Picard goes to transport to the coordinates that Agnes stole from the Borg Queen. The Queen ridicules Agnes for being left behind. You are remarkably more cruel than I could have predicted. Bravo, the Queen says. How am I cruel? Fixing me to take what you want, leaving me up here powerless, yet now awake to feel it. The Queen tries to connect with Agnes on assimilation, cooperation, and connection, things that the Borg know all too much about. Picard beams to 10 Forward, the bar, at 100 North Forward Avenue. Well, now we know where the bar got its name. A much younger Guinan is tending the bar. Picard is shocked. The bar is being closed for good. Picard tells Guinan he knows that she's Elorian. She pulls out a shotgun and, who the hell are you, old man?
This section I thought was, first off, I'm stepping on Heather's territory here because of Easter eggs. The guy with the radio is the same one that was there when Kirk and Spock was on the bus.
Did I just not say that?
Why he was, yeah, but I'm just saying,
did I not just say that?
That's why. Yes, you did. But I'm saying that's why he was so contrite when she asked him to turn it off, because he knew what happened last time.
Yeah,
I really love
that. I was dying. It was like the scene was happening too fast because I was just shocked at seeing the guy in the first place, and I'm like, oh my god, it's the same bus guy. And,
same guy.
And now, I'm just like dying because it was so funny. Everything. And his reaction was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm going to stop playing this loud
awesome.
now. I just was dying at that. It's so freaking ridiculous.
That was funny because he remembered getting nerve pitch. And also, he is in the Marvel universe. If you see Spider-Man, he was there.
If anyone doesn't know, you could check him out on IMDb. Kirk Thatcher was his name. And he was in Star Trek 4, like Patrick said, The Voyage Home. He also did a punk rock character in 1986, where he was playing the song I Hate You. And that's why this was so funny, because when he was playing the song in this episode, the song in this episode was I Still Hate You. So that's like a joke that works on so many levels.
It was
and
great.
He's heavily involved with the Muppets.
And he narrated the 2019 animated Star Trek short Efren and Dot.
Oh, really?
Yep, he narrated that.
Okay, I am so glad I just followed him on Twitter, too. He's on Twitter, and he seems to be a very cool dude so far.
He's a Star Trek royalty.
I'm
nice.
high-fiving the guy all over the place. I'm loving it.
Do you guys remember the show Dinosaurs, where not the baby?
Yep.
Not the mama.
He
not
was
the mama.
Or not the mama. Yeah, he was Timmy the Wereman.
Oh,
Really?
cool.
Oh, how cool.
Wow.
Gotta love me. You know?
That is so cool.
And then
he's he's got so many Muppet entries in IMDb. It's like, good Lord. I mean, you'd think he was Jim Henson.
That's awesome.
I'm glad that they paid the homage. And it's great that they take little minor characters and they extend them throughout the universe, which I think is pretty damn cool.
Yeah, I really love that Easter egg.
Yeah.
And of all the things, looking at Twitter's reaction, I had to laugh at, especially with this episode, people are getting really nitpicky on this episode. But they're like, wait, that was on a bus in San Francisco in the 80s, and now all of a sudden he's in Los Angeles. What's going on with that?
He was traveling.
It's like, who cares? He's on a bus and he's playing the music loud, and it doesn't matter, man. It's just
been
great.
How many years? Like decades? You can't travel from one location to another in decades? Come on.
Those batteries in that boombox would have gone dead so long ago. This is totally impossible.
You can replace the batteries.
It's like, oh my God. They probably called him up, says, we want to reprise your character. Do you still have that radio? Yep, still got it.
Oh, that's funny.
It was awesome. It was a highlight. It was just such a small moment because the plot is still going. We're like halfway through the scene of Raffi and Seven reacting and talking about Eleanor being gone and trying to figure out what's going on. I'm still just laughing at, they got the punk guy.
Yeah, that was funny.
It's perfect for this episode too, because this episode is about things that have been said in the past are now being said again in 2024. And we saw that with Guinan and Picard later on, but this in particular, we see 7 and 9 saying exactly the same thing as Spock said to the exact same freaking guy with the exact same music. I was just,
but
so
did
awesome.
You also, one of the things that kind of got me is that Twitter was also full of the fact that Guinan met Picard like before. Yes. How come she doesn't remember?
Oh, I got an answer to that.
Yeah, there is an answer to that. And that's like, because I was like that too. I was like seeing the episode. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to go with it. But she totally saw him in that Mark Twain episode.
Yep.
Right.
But that was in the original timeline. And now that the timeline has been changed, they never met.
Exactly.
Yeah, the timelines are all fucked up. So it totally fits.
All these morons on Facebook and Twitter have been going like, well, how come they're totally screwed this up? Because she knows him. She met him before. I'm like, are you fucking morons? I mean, hello, that timeline does not exist at this moment. So pissed me off, man.
If people don't know what we're talking about, watch the Next Generation Times Arrow. And in this, we see that their original friendship, it started in 1893, and that's what people are talking about. So Terry Matalas, who is the showrunner of Picard, said...
Matalas.
Okay, thank you. Said that this Guinan wouldn't remember Picard because it's an alternate timeline, and the Next Generation episode Times Arrow never happened, so they were never able to meet.
Exactly.
It's funny that you look at the timelines and say, okay, yeah, but then wait a minute. They saw the punk rock guy who's the same. It's like, dude, hold on. The punk rock guy thing happened in the 80s. So, and that was generated off of the original series guys. So that was before Picard going back in the timeline thing. So the timelines work. It actually works. If you work it all out, this is still legit.
Yeah.
If these wannabe Trekkies who think that they know what they're talking
I'm
about.
not going to say they're wannabe. I'm not going to come down that hard on them. I just kind of laugh at I mean, somebody pointing this out right away on Twitter.
If you're going to make a statement like that, at least do the research to back up your facts.
They got corrected real quick on Twitter.
Do your homework.
Like, wow.
Yeah, Terry answered that fast.
Yeah. So
meanwhile, I'm just enjoying the episode, so it's all good.
And young Guinan is dieseled. She's like worked out. Her arms were like
she's so
like gymnastics
hot.
Arms.
I was surprised that they recast her because I thought Whoopi still looks, not too old to do that role.
Too much money to slim her down and everything.
Well, I mean, the man of the time, and she's got a job
that
too.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but she was 400 years younger too.
That's true. And I love her hair.
Oh, the hair was phenomenal.
Her hair,
highlights in the hair. Oh, yeah.
The hair reminded me of her hat, Guinan's hat, but it was like hairstyle. Yeah. And I really love how they did that. I love her character. I love what they did with this.
I don't think you could have better cast that role. Yeah. I thought the actress was wonderful.
She was great.
She liked my tweet. I welcomed her to the Star Trek family, and she liked my tweet.
That's cool.
What I thought was interesting though is the bar, which the bar is called 10. It's on Forward Avenue. So that's how we get the 10 forward.
That has nothing to do with that. That's totally about the deck 10 being forward on deck 10. I don't know what this bar thing has to do with anything.
And you notice that Pitbull is the same breed that Picard had. That's how come the dog liked him right off the bat, because he was a Pitbull
I actually thought that was the highlight of this section. Aside from the punk rock guy, I don't want to be upstaged or anything, but the dog was cool too.
Yeah, it was nice.
It was nice. Although I saw Picard say stay and then the dog sit. So I thought that was a continuity problem, because usually
I thought he said sit.
No, he said stay and then the dog sit. He didn't say sit and the dog sit. He said stay and then the dog sit.
Well, he could have really confused it if you name your dog Stay and then he'd be like, come here, stay.
Don't confuse me, my brain. Although I love that Picard went right for the Saurian Brandy. He's probably the first person to go right for the Saurian Brandy, because everyone else is like, that looks like some kind of a syrup dispenser.
She's like, put that down.
Yeah, Guinan's like, I'm taking that with me. Fuck you.
And boy, is she good with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, she had that sucker ready.
Well, it's like spin the bottle when that's later on. Mm-hmm. So, but that was funny when she was aiming. Well, okay, later on.
Was the Borg Queen hitting on Agnes? Did you guys catch that?
Not in this section, really.
I thought so.
Yeah, she's low key hitting on her.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
I'm loving it. I'm still loving the Borg Queen and Agnes thing going. It's like, how are we going to call this shipping?
She's trying to get Agnes on her side by playing on Agnes's fears of being alone
and manipulating her.
I mean, do we call it queenness, or do we call it Borgag, or how do you ship both of them together? I'm trying to figure that.
Borgag sounds too much like ball gag.
Yeah.
Just call him we'll call him Bagness.
Bagness, that works. Bagness, yeah. Anyway, I had to mention that because it's very important to me that I think she's hitting on her.
So you're shipping them.
I just have to say real quick, I was listening to a news story about, I don't even remember what it was about, but they kept saying Bork, B-O-R-K. But because I just watched this episode, I kept thinking they were saying the Borg Queen. And so the whole news episode, my mind is like, oh, we're talking about the Borg and the Borg Queen, and this is what's going on with the Borg. And every single time they said Borg, I'm thinking Borg. Yeah, okay, I just had to mention that.
Borg. That's from the Muppets.
That's the Muppets, yes. The Swedish chef.
He comes at the end of the episode.
One last note, because I got to call out as a production person. There were little accents of the Borg Queen sounding more Borgy, when she gets, excited. She's got this like normal Borg person sound, or not a Borg, like a normal person sound when she's talking with Agnes, but she'll like say a little phrase and it sounds like they dub in a little extra Borg sound effect, accent in the speech. I just got to call that out because that was cool shit.
Yeah, especially when she goes, Agnes.
Yeah, really.
When she's trying to do,
it got very Borgy there.
Yeah.
When she's trying to influence her more, she uses that Borg tone in it. It's kind of like what your parents do if you didn't listen to them when they say your name the first time, Patrick, and it's like, what? So that type of thing. Yeah, let's.
My mom doesn't do that. She goes, Ricky, Patrick, Michael.
That's her Borg way of talking.
Yeah.
You get the full name. If they say your full name, all three of your names, you're in trouble.
So Ricky? You're Ricky?
Well, it's really Patrick Michael, but my mom has always called me Rick. So all my family calls me Rick.
I'm so trying not to go, oh, Ricky, you're so fine. You're so fine. And that was supposed to be Mickey.
I blow my mind. Hey, Ricky.
Yeah.
I think it's Ricky. Isn't it Ricky Martin? Isn't that like gay singer Ricky Martin?
You didn't have to bring up Ricky Martin.
Bring up Daddy. Come on now.
Okay, we should go to the next section before you have to edit this episode.
Yeah.
Okay, Act 2. Raffi and Seven are at the police station looking for Rios. Raffi is overexcited. Immigration and Customs Enforcement is where Rios would be, a kind man tells them. Booking photo ID 032894 Castaic Deport. The ICE officer comes in to take a prisoner to the bus and gets up in his face. Rios intervenes and gets tased. Don't tase me, bro. Teresa and Rios chat and she can't decide whether he's brave or stupid. I'm just a good Samaritan passing through, he says. As long as I've lived on this planet, I can count on one hand the number of times I've been called Elorian, Guinan says. She wants to know who Picard is, but he won't tell her. Picard believes that Guinan is who he is looking for, a watcher. Guinan reacts to that word. Uncle Dale comes for the dog. A few folks have enough resources to fix the problems for the rest of us, but they won't, because their greatest fear is having less. They've got one tiny ball in an entire galaxy, and all this species wants to do is fight. Guinan says it through her tears. It's not too late. The problem isn't time, it's you. Guinan pukes. It's called Afkelt. It's a time sickness, which is an Elorian condition when their time streams merge.
That whole thing with Guinan, I'm glad that actress that plays her is still showing Whoopi's strength and as well as her compassion when she looks there, because you can see she's really intelligent and how she's piecing things together and taking a full measure of Picard and to understand whether or not she should trust him.
Taking a measure of a man.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Which was a pivotal episode for her when it came to talking to Riker. Being in the police department, first off, I really think Rio should have ran, but he was horny. He should have just left.
He ran, but he ran back. Yeah. He had to be save the day guy. And next thing you know, he's in big trouble.
Yeah.
And what is he going to do? Are they going to do the same thing to this doctor like they did in the Voyage Home, where they took the woman and they brought her back to the future? Which
there are no whales to take care of.
There's no
in the
whale.
future.
There'll be no whales here, Captain.
Yeah.
But that's the whole thing. It's like, again, that's why the Temporal Police hated Kirk. He couldn't care less about interrupting
Don't do the thing.
timelines.
I'm doing the thing.
Yeah. And that cop, oh my God, I hope somebody beats the crap out of him.
I wanted to hurt him so bad.
You want to talk about
really?
when an actor is really good at what they're doing is when you hate them so much because they're portraying it so accurately.
Exactly.
When he just calls out, put your Juan Hancock on the papers, I'm just like,
I was like, how fucking racist are you, Dick?
that's so racist. It's like extra racist.
It's so funny how Rios responds, because Rios is like, okay, I'll tell you the truth.
And
Here's
he does.
the whole fucking truth.
I'm like, Rios, stop. You're giving out spoilers.
Next section.
Sorry.
Yeah, okay. But it was, again, it was nice. And wait, was this section? No, this isn't the section where they do the car chase.
Not yet. No, we have to come up to that. Yeah, we haven't stolen the car yet.
Okay, so we at there where
highlight
so they're
for
still
me,
at the bar.
Yeah,
okay, all right.
They're at the bar, and the highlight for me was the writing behind what Guinan was saying. They're actually killing the planet. Truth is whatever you want it to be. Facts aren't even facts anymore. A few folks have enough resources to fix all the problems for the rest, but they won't because their greatest fear is having less. And if you felt like when you're watching this that you were called out, It was because you fucking were. This was so written with such a fucking, this is where you see people getting pissed off about how woke Star Trek is. It's because you're we're saying this is the problem and we're calling you out. That's what it is. Sorry to say it.
That's what Star Trek does. That's one of the great things about it.
Yeah. And it really hit. It really hit home, and it hit so hard and so accurately. But I'm like, yeah, that's what's fucking wrong with everything, right? It's what it feels like. I don't know maybe there's something else wrong with the world, but this feels like this is calling out from what that point of view is seeing is what it is.
Well, and I can't remember it ever being so like nail on the head. You know what I mean? Talking like so specifically calling out the elite few who run the world, that they could be doing more and they're not because they're scared of having less. I don't think it's ever been called out so specifically before.
It was a call out to Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos because Elon Musk is a Star Trek fan.
And the Walmart people.
Bezos and the Walmart. Basically telling them, says, look, you can make this place better.
You can do more.
Jeff Bezos' wife just donated like $3.6 billion to a bunch of different charities.
I think she did that to piss him off, didn't she? Like she got half of his money and she's like, I'm going to give half of it away just to spite you.
But you see, in my opinion, what they could have done, because you have that water problem in Flint, Michigan.
Yeah.
And I'm so ticked off because any celebrity can go there and donate a fraction of their wealth and clean up that whole area. And it costs less than a $300 million fucking super yacht. But
then they'll have less.
They won't do it.
Yeah. And it's so funny because the people who actually have less, they're the ones that are like,
doing
we
the
can't
most.
eat, we can't drive, we can't do anything, like we could barely live.
Yeah. I hope it makes some sort of a difference. I hope one of them sitting down in their multimedia room being served caviar on a gold tray going, they're talking about me.
Well,
and decide to do something.
The calling out the rich, I see that, that's an easy one to call out. But it was the other stuff that was really resonating with me that's been annoying me about the last couple of years is the truth is whatever you want it is to be, and facts aren't even facts anymore.
That's true.
Resonated with me because I work in the media industry and I'm, there's a lot of hate for the media right now because nobody trusts the news anymore. And that's because of
Donald Trump.
I didn't want to call it out, but that's what I get upset about. And so it's all resonating with me, and they're hitting the nail on the head. And the only other thing about this scene, aside from seeing Luna get taken away, which was incredibly sad and emotional moment in the middle of all this other stuff going on, the dog's got to go. And the reason is because Guinan's leaving. And why is she leaving? I think it's because she wasn't going to be able to pay her taxes. Might as well get out now, right? Is that why she's closing the place down?
3 days before, you might as well get out.
Fucking A, man. That's I think it resonates with the tax man because of the number 15.
April 15th. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
I think that's what's going on. Guinan can't pay her taxes, so she's like, I'm out of here.
First off,
and these people are crazy.
It was bad placement of a bar to be down an alleyway where people can't see foot traffic. But, there's that.
And also, it's kind of bad marketing to name your bar 10.
Yeah, it'll come up if you do a search for bars. I guess you did it for the yellow pages, but there's no yellow pages now.
If you do it alphabetically, the numbers go first. Yeah.
Yeah, but obviously it was important because the Borg Queen those are the coordinates. So
yeah, well, let's go get to the next section.
Okay, Act 3. Raffi and Seven leave the police station to find Rios. They break into a cop car to use a laptop and then end up stealing it. Rios is 25 miles north of where they are currently. Communications come back online with Agnes. She's trying to transport them, but the system goes into self-repair mode. You can pilot a starship, but you can't drive a Seven burns rubber. Castaic is an hour away. 25 miles takes an hour to drive. Yeah, LA traffic sucks even in 2024. The Queen offers to help with the transporter. Back at the bar, Guinan tells Picard she's no watcher. You know who has the luxury of patience here? Someone who looks like you and not like me. The world has more potential than I ever imagined, but the hatred here, it never ends. It just swaps clothes. This sentry, it took off its hood and put on a suit. Guinan's tired of waiting. Rios and Teresa talk. Rios is going to be deported. Teresa tells him, is that the one who tased you? Yep, faced like a Ferengi. What the fuck is a Ferengi? The officer teases him, and Rios tells him exactly who he is, what his ship name is, and what his mission is. The officer's like, okay, dude, quit smoking dope.
That's one reaction. There was spoilers, Rios, spoilers. You can't tell everybody this the entire plot up to now.
I kind of saw
like Alex Kingston in Doctor Who. Spoilers.
Yeah.
You have Ralphie decided to keep her gun anyway.
Raffi.
Raffi is
even though she told everyone not to, and she keeps it.
She's like, how'd this get here? Oh my God. The comical elements of Raffi and Seven is just off the chart hilarious.
There's a buddy
and
cop.
it's in the middle of a goddamn action sequence that is so badass.
Well,
I loved this so much.
It was like a buddy cop section in the show.
Yes.
Did you guys watch the after show?
Yes.
Yeah.
So do you see the reaction of Raffi in the car was real because it was a guy driving it for them.
Yeah, it was one of those rigs where they actually take and mount a steering wheel and pedals in a roll cage on top of the vehicle. So the actors get inside the car and look like they're driving, and they can get a camera on it, but they're not driving anything. It's actually a stunt driver, like a real stunt driver, driving this thing around like a crazy stunt vehicle, and they're on an insane ride of their life, and they're trying to act a scene while the car is doing insane shit. So all those reaction shots are 110% genuine. I love that.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
And they, the reason why they had to do that, they said, is because it's illegal in LA to drive a car with a camera on it. Is that correct?
Yeah,
and then
apparently.
that's why they had to have
the
someone
camera
else
mounted on the front of the car.
You know, that little suction cup mount we used to make movies back in the 90s and 2000s and strap your DV camera.
That's illegal now.
Whoops, sorry guys.
You never did that.
Well, never did in LA. I mean, maybe you can get away with it if nobody catches you.
But it was fun to watch that scene and to see Seven to be so aggressive, just like
she
the
was
Borg.
road raging.
She really was.
That was Seven road rage.
I love Seven as the pure human so much, right? Because she's hilarious. She's in love with 2024. She can drive like, in LA traffic like a badass. I gotta, Seven's awesome.
Well, I would get road rage too if I was driving in LA traffic in 2024.
Well, yeah,
that's true.
You do the one thing you don't do is steal a cop car at the fucking police station.
And then on top of it, they tell everyone, don't bring the tech. Raffi brings all the tech.
Yes, she brings all the tech. And she starts to hack the LAPD from their laptop in the car. I must admit, if you're going to do it, that's the way to do it. I don't know how she broke encryption codes to get into it, but once she did, you're into the entire system.
She had the Confederation tricorder. So.
Yeah, I guess it's good for one thing, if you can hack the LAPD with Confederation tricorder.
She was a hacker even before in Picard, so she knew her way around.
Yeah.
And
it was probably like child's play for her.
Yeah. This is the one thing about the 24th century. Everything's connected. So I'll find out. I'm in.
Yes. That's the problem when you have all your computers networked.
Yeah.
And I love during the driving sequence too how Raffi was the backseat driver telling Seven how to drive.
Oh, that was funny.
I love how they wear seatbelts. Yeah. From the Star Trek universe, the first thing they do is they put on seatbelts. I'm like, wow, seatbelts.
They know what that is.
And then Seven can drive. I must admit, everyone on the Twitter is saying that she hung out with Tom Paris in the holodeck and did some racing, which is probably true. But I imagine that she also, or her people, assimilated Mario Andretti or something because
she was Borg, so they've assimilated humans, so she probably knows how to.
They probably know NASCAR from the future at least, and she can drive like a badass.
It was a really kind of a cool scene, and to see again the touching moment between Rios and the doctor, it was like this feeling's coming up there. Between them, you kind of see it.
She could be his great, or how many of her greats it is grandmother.
Yeah, he would need somebody like Spock or somebody to whisper in his ear. It goes, you realize that she's dust now.
I'm like, there's probably a Pornhub for this, right? Dating, doing your great grandmother. There's probably, that's kind of nasty.
Pornhub is not a channel.
No.
The other thing about this I always kind of got to laugh at is everything's in self-repair mode. It's like, oh, God damn it. The transporters are offline. They went into self-repair mode again. It's like Windows rebooted without your permission kind of thing.
Well,
the fucking computer rebooted. I can't do anything because the damn Microsoft made it reboot without me asking, you know?
Well, now it's like there's no real need to have a repair crew since it looks like the computer uses its programmable matter to fix itself.
Well, I don't know if they have programmable matter, but
something of that nature.
But yeah, self-repair mode, it's like it knows how to recalibrate, but it's not. It's confused and it doesn't know how to beam things that are moving. So yeah, it's a conundrum. And in the middle of the conundrum, Jurarti's like trying to figure this out, and the Borg Queen's like, "Oh, Agnes, who's your mama over here?
Who can get you what you need?
Little Queenie can help you.
She's like, I can take care of that for you.
I know transporters. Would you like something repaired? I could repair the warp drive.
I can put a floppy disk in your hard drive.
She's like,
oh my God.
Only a woman knows what another woman wants.
Oh my God.
I guess what I want is for us to go to the next section now.
Oh, one more thing before we go to the next section. When Raffi and Seven are at the police station and Raffi is having a bad day and she's giving the receptionist a bad day.
Raffi was Karen, right? That was a Karen moment.
Well, it was funny because Raffi's like, I hate everything. And Seven's like, but you hide it so well.
I know, that was funny.
That was hilarious.
They're great. They're killing their scenes. They're totally killing them.
You can tell the relationship that they did have a relationship.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. And then you have the one helpful guy who tells them, yeah, you're not going to find your buddy here because, you know.
Hello, it's ICE. It's not the LAPD. What are you doing here?
They moved into another section.
You need the immigration people.
Baby.
Oh my God.
And that's when they get up. You know, dun, 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 dun. In next section, Patrick. Next section, Patrick.
Act 4. Seven and Raffi tried to keep from getting caught by the police running a red light, nearly getting into an accident. Rios boards a bus to be deported. The Borg Queen wants a quid pro quo. To be in plain view and yet still unafraid, there's great strength in that, the Queen says. It's how you get your army to follow you, my dear. How you teach the choir to sing. Agnes barters. Betrayal is just an anagram for believe me. What? Help now and what do I get? Me, Agnes says. You and I will trade sad sack stories. Raffi gets the new coordinates for Rios. He's being taken to the border, Highway 14. The cops close in. Agnes tells them to stop the car so she can beam them out. The area where the car chase happens is the LA Convention Center, Staples Center, if you were paying attention. They stop, they get beamed out. The cops look confused. Seven and Raffi beam to the roadside where Rios' bus will come past. I've limited your access again, Atlas says to the Borg Queen. Picard tells Guinan who he is. The name resonates with her. She takes him to find the Watcher in MacArthur Park. The Watcher will know if you hide or lie. You better run, Guinan. Picard begs Guinan not to leave Earth just yet. Change always comes later than we think it should. She leaves without a word. A little girl, then a man, at a cart, and then a tall man in a tunnel take Picard to the Watcher. Laris, is that you? They both disappear. Zoom in on Q, narrating a woman reading a book. He snaps his fingers and nothing happens. Well, that's unexpected and most unfortunate. He's wearing a Europa space jacket.
That whole section. Well, first off, I can just imagine the police in the stories they're going to tell. What do you mean you pulled people over and they weren't in the car anymore? What the hell happened? Could you imagine the report for that?
Yeah,
oh my God.
That was some Area 51 stuff, right?
Yeah.
That was some Bermuda Triangle stuff.
They would totally blame the cop. They'd be like, they got out of that car and you didn't see it.
Yeah. They would like search the cameras, everything.
They're going to whip out the in-car camera because, you know, they document camera footage in these police cars now. So that wouldn't surprise me. They have footage of them disappearing before their eyes.
They would just squash it. It wouldn't make the news. It wouldn't be anything. They would just
up.
They would just like this didn't happen.
Speaking of in-car, maybe some viewers don't realize this, but the director who was Marty McFly's mother on Back to the Future, which we spoke about on the last episode, she directed this episode as well. And she was in one of those cars in the chase, like directing.
Yeah, they had the full 9 when they shot this scene, all the driving stuff. I think in the after show, Will talked with her and it was amazing. That was probably one of the better interviews I saw on the Ready Room.
That was really good.
It was really good stuff because it was cool getting the information, but it was also cool. Will Wheaton, actor, talking to Leah Thompson, director, actor, and talking about it all. I mean, that was kind of fun to watch. But I was tripping out because she said that the same team that did the Ford versus Ferrari was doing the cinema stuff for they had all the top stunt crew and camera crews doing all the driving stuff, and you can tell that was awesome. I have have to ask, because you did mention it was at Staples Center or that street or whatever. When you guys watch these episodes and they're shot in LA, that was one of the things Will Wheaton actually brought up, LA actually being in as LA and not being trying to be something else. It was just LA in the background. So that was kind of cool. But do you guys trigger off when you see scenes in the show and go like, I know where that is. I know where this is. I know where that is.
And that is all the way over there. And it would have taken them an hour to get over there, but it showed it right next to each other. And
25 miles for
I've been playing some Grand Theft Auto, and some of the scenes are triggering me from Grand Theft Auto. So I don't hang out in LA. I don't know where things are. I mean, I know where Staples Centers is, and I saw that in the background. And I noticed as the second time I watched it, I was like, oh, that's where that is. Okay.
Were they jumping all around to LA filming?
No, it was mostly that area from where the main police station is on Adams, and then depths of the Staples Center.
Yeah, it's not the Staples Center anymore.
You're right. They renamed it, didn't they? They changed sponsors, huh?
It's renamed. It's the Crypto Center now.
The Crypto,
it's no longer Staples Center.
Crypto's taking over.
Yeah, but just like when the first season of Picard, that was filmed on the back steps of the Anaheim Convention Center. When the Romulans came to kill.
When the first girl got
Dodge got destroyed.
Dodge.
Yeah, so
I know when I watch movies about Las Vegas, I always get pissed off because, for example, Pay It Forward. Pay It Forward, at the very beginning of the movie, the kid rides his bike from school to his home, and he went all over the motherfucking valley. Like, that kid would have had like a whole day bike ride if he actually did that, because he started on the northwest part of the valley, and then he went around the Las Vegas Boulevard, which is center, and then he ended up on the east side of the valley, like southeast. And I'm like, he just spent like freaking 6 hours riding his bike from school to home.
Well, they do that, just like Jackie Chan's movie, Rumble in the Bronx. We have no river in the Bronx that comes in with freighters. And X-Files did it, where it was like an Amtrak hub in the Bronx. No such thing, but that's what they do. But it was really kind of cool to see them drive around like that and to see the interplay between Jurarti and the Queen. That's really good acting.
I love their scenes so much. I can get behind
really good acting between the two.
Allison Pill and the new girl, the Borg Queen.
Annie Wershing,
yes. I love them both so much. And I'm just mesmerized by their scenes.
I know. And that one line she tells her, she said, when she's not talking to her, and she's like, says the woman who won't meet my gaze in fear of being seen.
Yeah.
And you can tell that really hurt her.
And then when she looks at her,
And then at the very end, too, Agnes won't look at her again, but she is being cruel because she went back on her word and she left the Borg Queen alone.
She just left her alone to her devices on herself. That's harsh. That's cold.
Well, Agnes she ain't no dummy.
She knows better than
girls
that.
hitting on you and you just fucking leave the room. I'm just like, these girls are badasses, even though they don't feel like they should be. I was just.
Well, would you want to get fingered by the Queen's stump?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Did I say yes out loud?
I would totally tease her. It's like, you're supposed to be a Borg Queen and I can lock you out of the system. Some skill you have.
Oh my God.
She got locked out. She isolated her.
Yeah. It's really an interesting relationship they're developing. That's for certain.
Yeah.
For certain. Guess what? I just realized we missed a birthday earlier.
Ooh.
Which birthday?
Tig Notaro, March 24th, 1971.
There's
Happy
a lot of
birthday,
birthdays.
Tig.
Happy birthday, Tig. Yeah. There's a lot of birthdays to keep track of in Star Trek. And you see people rattle them off. Today's this person's birthday. Today's that person's birthday. And then you get days where like there's 7 people's birthday and they're all from Star Trek. I'm just like, okay, I get it. People have birthdays.
Basically, if I ever have a birthday announcement, it's because I couldn't find any news. That's what you're saying.
Oh, I wasn't saying that.
I'm just playing.
The one thing I really like is they have an air tag they put up in Rio's anus because they were able to track him everywhere.
That sounded painful.
Either that was just the update. They're going to have to get that badge back.
That was the bus they were tracking. They weren't tracking his anus.
In my headcanon, that's where it was.
We don't track prisoners with the anus.
It's like an old episode of Mutual of Omaha's.
The problem is if you put it there, at some point it's going to come out. You want to put it somewhere where it's not going to come out. You want to implant it, but not in the anus. Anus is a bad place to put it.
Well, it's like Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. We have here the wild Rios attempting to flee the border. We
look at him run. Oh, he's poised and he wants to run, but he can't. He's locked in the chains.
We have our 2 primary catchers. Is 7
but it was cool. Is going to happen. And I love how they laid it all out. It was like, okay, they're about to hijack in broad daylight without butterflies, without getting ourselves killed or Rios or anybody else killed. It's like, this is what we have to do. This is impossible. How are we going to do this? And then that's apparently next episode that's going to go down. That should be interesting.
I want to see how they're going to get him out of that bus once they're there. That's going to be
I mean, she does have the phaser handy, so she can do some amazing shit with the phaser, but then you got the butterfly problem.
And then there's a whole timeline over there. They don't have the Men in Black neuralizer. So
right. And I'm worried about this. Maybe it's the same way they got out of the beaming out of the car. Maybe they're going to see some stuff that they're just going to be able to just completely deny and get away with.
Well, you got a good point.
Because all these guys, and that's the other thing they're saying, that these guys aren't on the way to get deported. It sounds like they're going to off everybody. They get them on a bus to drive them out in the desert, and they're going to off them. That's what I feel like they're going to do. I don't think they're going to just kick them to the border. I think these guys, this is how evil
that cop is really evil.
These ICE guys feel like is that what they're going to do?
Did you guys ever see a movie with Denzel Washington called, I believe it was Fallen, where he was a police officer and it was a demon.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Every time he touched someone, his consciousness will transfer to the other. They would jump.
It was a big ending in that one.
Yeah, I'm not going to spoil it because it is a wild ending.
That's a good one, though.
But this Watcher that Guinan, first off, Guinan runs. Guinan's not somebody who runs from someone. But when she said that she could literally put her foot down my throat and she took off.
Oh.
Put up her ass.
Which makes me wonder. So we all know that at the very end, Laris is the Watcher. Why would Laris want to put a boot through Guinan's face? And would she feel that way in the alternative timeline?
But is it Laris herself as a Romulan, or is it somebody who plucked that image from Picard's mind?
Oh, that's a big we don't know question.
Oh, wow. And I'm like, the Q is involved, and is she a Q? Is the Watcher
what happened? The Q never went through a door.
That's what I was about to say. The door, the fog door that they went through is the same effect that Gary Seven's transporter. It's similar to that, which was on the original series, Assignment
Earth.
Earth.
That out on Twitter. And so
season 2,
that brings the Watcher 26. A whole nother level. Is the Watcher going to have a kitty cat?
That would be wild if that's the case. God. And I wonder if they're going to bring what's her name. Is it a real
kitty cat or is it an electronic pussy?
Or is it a kitty cat that transforms into a being when you're not looking?
Grudge!
And what was her name? She was on Friends that did Smelly Cat.
Lisa Kudrow.
Wasn't Lisa Kudrow in that? No, that wasn't her.
No.
Who was in it?
I don't know, but I love Lisa Kudrow. She's great.
Yeah. Well, at any rate, it's going to be pretty wild. But the part that really kind of got me is the fact that also Q is sitting there and he snaps his finger and he has no power.
And his snap is broken. Yeah.
Yes. What's wrong with Q?
Who took his
unexpected.
Power away?
And why is he stalking the chick?
Oh, and why are people saying that the chick is a Picard?
Oh.
Because there's some subtitle, something or other on Amazon or whatever that says, they said she's a Picard in a subtitle. And I'm like, what? I didn't see that. What are they talking about?
I heard something on Twitter about maybe Q being on trial.
That was another episode, wasn't it? I don't know. I think Q's having problems, and if he can't get a snap up, then he's got to have some Viagra or something.
Well, the whole section, thankfully, Memory Alpha has the part where he's talking to the woman while she's reading the book, and he goes, "You can't do it, and you know it. Oh, sure, you played the game for a while, and when nothing was at stake, the only challenge was fooling everyone into thinking that you had the nerve. But now it's real. The fear is choking you. Well, here's the truth. You can't do it. People are going to die, and now your fear, your doubt, is the loudest voice in your head."
Who's he talking to? Wow.
Exactly. Nobody knows he was talking to her or himself.
Or about Picard even. It's so weird. And now somebody called out the book that she was reading. Was that a Dixon Hill novel?
It was a Dixon Hill mystery, yes.
I thought that was kind of, that's interesting.
It was called Pallid Sun.
I wonder if it's like his grandmother or something, or great-grandmother.
Yeah, it's something like that. And it's fun because these episodes are you watch through them and they're very packed full of stuff. Mm-hmm. And you get to the end of them and they're like, that's it? Where's the rest of it? We need more. Because this is definitely a binge-worthy, because you would have binged through the last 3 episodes like that. I mean, I want to click the next button, and I'm getting yelled at by the people I'm watching this with. Why can't we see the next one?
It's like, you can't.
Did you guys notice the license plate on Guinan's car?
Yes.
It was
season 2,
episode 1, which is
cool.
Is that what
Guinan's first? It was Guinan's first appearance. The child.
Does it really say S2E1?
S02E01.
Oh my God, that's
the
hilarious.
Child. Isn't that an awesome
That's
Easter
fucking
egg?
funny. They're having way too much fun with these things.
Good stuff in it. And now I'm excited to see what happened. And you see, like, Q didn't get upset. He didn't freak out. He was just like, well, that's unfortunate.
It's like, that's unexpected. I love that phrase, unexpected, because it called back to the first season when the Borg cube arrives for the first time, and Rios is like, oh, that's unexpected. And then you see the fucking cube come in out of nowhere. It's like, wow, unexpected. That's a great word.
And that part where Raffi is saying, you can pilot a starship, but you can't drive, that flashes back to an Enterprise episode where Archer and T'Pol steal a Dodge Ram.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
Oh, I haven't seen that one in a while.
That is called Carpenter Street.
And
another Easter egg is the girl that was reading the Dixon Hill novel was in Jackson Roykirk Plaza, which was named after the inventor of the Nomad MK-15C probe on the original series, The Changeling, Season 2, Episode 8.
You're telling me Nomad has a model number? I don't remember Nomad having a model number. That's amazing.
MK-15-6.
15. There's that number again.
There's the 15 again.
It's the new 47.
Now,
Oh my
Patrick,
God.
I'm gonna ask you, and I know you're not gonna have the answer, but this just is a routine now. So I'm sorry, I have to do it. What's the name of the next episode?
Let's see if they have it listed here.
The suspense.
Yeah, I don't see.
Yellow light, go faster.
Red means
that's
stop.
a classic. That's
Green
a classic.
means go. Yellow means go
stop.
very fast.
Starman.
Yeah.
The Starman.
Excellent.
That was a good movie.
Heather, what would you give this episode? 1 to 10.
I give this episode a solid 8. I'm really enjoying Picard. I like what they're doing. I enjoy each episode. I love the Easter eggs they're putting in there. They have a lot of, they have more humor than I would suspect. And I'm really enjoying the story, and I can't wait to see where it goes.
How about you, number 1? What would you give it?
Probably an 8 or an 8.5. I liked the social commentary that was lined throughout the episode and all the different little Easter eggs. And it was a really fun episode. I really liked it.
And how about you, Chief?
I'm a definite 9. I'm having a lot of fun with this season so far. And this episode was a ton of fun because all the action going on. And it's an in-betweener episode. It definitely is one of those in-betweeners because we definitely don't get the big resolve at the end. It's like the story keeps going and we need the next episode quick kind of episode. But it's so much fun. The action was top-notch and hilarious and entertaining at the same time. Putting Star Trek characters in modern times is always entertaining, and this has been no exception. This has been really, really good.
I have to give it as well as a 8, maybe an 8.5, because there was a lot of excitement and they left a lot of breadcrumbs that I haven't been able to figure out. I was already proven wrong that Guinan is the Watcher. So they did a good job in misdirecting.
Yeah, they got all you guys.
Yeah. So, and there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 episodes left before they can tie this up in a box and give us a conclusion to the entire thing.
And we have a guest coming in on the 16th of April.
And so we do have a guest, and I know who that guest is. And so I'm excited to have them on board. I'm not going to tell anyone ahead of time. You really want to know, you'd be a part of our Patreon. So
it's not Shatner?
No.
Oh, okay.
I set the thing on it. He said he heard what I said about him, so he's not going to do the show.
It's not Jerry Ryan?
Oh my God.
Can you imagine how cool that would be?
Yeah. In fact, I should try. Never mind. I'm not going to say anything until I could try to make it happen.
Can we get the punk rock guy? That would be cool.
He'd probably come on and we'd have him sing for us.
Yeah. I'm wondering, just on this episode, the social commentary involved in it. I wonder how it's going to translate over the years and decades down the road.
We'll see. If it doesn't affect the people who are rich now, it may affect the people who will be rich in the future. So time will tell. Thanks everybody for joining us on this wonderful episode. It's going to be a little bit longer, but if it isn't, that means our engineer worked his magic behind the scenes. So
it's timey-wimey, right?
Yeah, it's ebb and flow. When we do the podcast, the time is very fluid, and our engineer wrestles it to a reasonable volume.
Well, I think Rocky figured out how to do that slingshot around the sun, and then that's how he's able to
get my car up to warp 9.9 to get that sucker going. It's hard enough to get it in orbit, let alone
he really
up to
knows how to do
9.9.
a slingshot, because that's how he carries his thing around. He slingshots it around his neck so he doesn't drag on the floor. But thanks everybody for listening. It's going to be really good weather this week if you're on the West Coast, for what the almanac says. So make sure you go out there and enjoy yourself. And please, there's a lot of conventions coming up. So if you're going to be in the area, look for us at WonderCon at the USS Navarus table at the 1701st, or at the Fleet. You'll be able to see at least a couple of the members there. And if you're going to be in Chicago, in Chi-Town, you'll be able to see both of us. And you can't say you don't know who to look for, because our pictures are on the BIOS. And if you're too lazy to look at the BIOS, well, you just missed out. So remember, just don't have a great week, but make it so.
And if you can, support the show by going to patreon.com/Starfleet Underground. Lots of perks to choose from, and you might even like some of them. Starfleet Underground, beaming into a podcast feed near you. Log on to our website at starfleetunderground.com and send your comments and questions to thecollective@starfleetunderground.com. Follow us on Twitter at StarfleetUnderG, and on Facebook and Instagram, we're Starfleet Underground.